Hey, welcome to Eat Your Backyard, my YouTube channel where I talk about all kinds of tropical, subtropical plants, trees, edibles, things I'm into. If you're into that kind of thing, go ahead and subscribe to Eat Your Backyard. If you like this video, don't forget to like it. All right, let's get started. Today I want to talk about a very common landscaping plant used for a number of applications. In this particular case, I'm looking at several that are planted in a median on a road. This is springtime in Florida, and that's when the Oleander is at its best. That's when it's blooming and full of flowers. You can see these things just get loaded with flowers. Trying to focus and give you beautiful big flowers. That'll last for 3 weeks, something like that. Then they'll all fall off, and you'll have something that looks more like that for the rest of the year. And there are a few different types of Oleanders, but I want to tell you one important thing about the Oleander that you should consider. It is incredibly poisonous. By that I mean the sap, the wood contains poisonous things. So this is not kind of thing that you want to have your kids putting in their mouth, right? You need to be a little bit careful. You don't want to get the sap on your skin. So that's something to consider when dealing with these. One other thing that I would tell you about these is that there's 3 different types. And I'll just refer to them as the white flowered variety, the pink flowered variety, and the red flowered variety, and they have very different characteristics in terms of how quickly they grow. Now we're looking at the one that grows without a doubt the fastest, and that is the white flowered. It will grow a good 20 feet tall. It grows vigorously. It wants to spread out and be wide like this, and you can see kind of the natural shape of what it would take. Sometimes they're planted along fences, and that's going to require a lot of trimming to keep them where you want them, and it can end up looking very woody if you don't do the trimming correctly. In other words, you trim it so far back so often that what you're seeing are the branches and not the leaves a lot. You have to make sure that the top doesn't overgrow and shade out the bottom and kind of tree form it in some lame way that you didn't intend. So okay, so the white Oleander, without a doubt the most vigorous. Now we can look at the other end of the spectrum, which is the red Oleander. Now look, there's one that was planted, I'm guessing, the same time that the white was, right next to it. I'm hoping you can see the flowers in this one. There it is. Now, that one's radically different. The difference is it is the smallest type, and it can tend to be problematic in my experience. In other words, it does require more careful fertilization, more water, more care in order for it to grow. But then again, if you're planting it up against a fence and you're willing to facilitate all of those things it requires, maybe a better selection. I love the red flowers. They are really, really nice. But, you know, you do, without a doubt, want to be aware that it is the slowest of the 3. Okay, now the last remaining type that I would show you is the pink Oleander. I'm just going to go ahead and drive around a little bit and seek one out. They're not hard to find. And I think that's the happy medium. That might be the right one for most people, I'm guessing. Okay, let's go find one. Well, I'll admit that wasn't much of a journey. I had to drive about 20 feet, and I realized there was one right there. Here's a pink one growing right next to a white one, and you can see it kind of illustrates what I'm talking about. The white one is growing a little bigger, a little faster, looks more lush. The pink one a little less, but again, same idea. Lots of beautiful pink flowers. Now while we're looking at those beautiful pink flowers, I'll share with you a story that I was told, and I don't know if it's true, but I just thought it was a cool story, so I'm going to tell it to you. When I was down in the Keys lobstering one time at a campground, I was told that there was a family down there from, let's just say, elsewhere, and they saw a big pile of wood stacked up like cuttings. And it turns out those were Oleander cuttings because they do require a lot of trimming, like I said, and they decided to use them for a campfire. And they used the campfire to cook hot dogs. And the whole family ate the hot dogs, and from what I'm told, several of them died. Now, I don't know if that's true, but the point is, the Oleander has its pros and its cons, and one of its pros is you're going to get some pretty flowers for about a month. It grows relatively easily. It's very easy to find. Unless you get the red variety, it doesn't require a lot of care, and it's pretty hardy. You know, some of the cons are that it can get very woody looking. It also, if you buy the more hardy varieties, like the white or the pink, can require quite a bit of trimming. And it is very, very poisonous. So, things to consider. Still, pretty excellent plant. Me personally, I would plant it as a specimen somewhere out in the open. If I had a lot of property, I would plant it somewhere where you could really enjoy the full form of it. I think that's where it's at its best. Maybe plant it up against something that would contrast in the background and really make it stick out, and then you can enjoy it. This is April, early April in Florida, and this is the time when they're all blooming and they just look incredible. So, but to be honest, you know, my snobbish opinion on these things is, to be honest, the rest of the year they really just look like a boring shrub, and most of them are over trimmed or under cared for and not that great. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like it. If you like this kind of stuff, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.